for the OCS, Central Police Station 1, Mr. Talam. I want to clear 4 issues to the whole world so that it is settled. 1, on the issue of what happened on the day the deceased met his fate. First and foremost, the OCS, Mr. Talam, sends condolences to the family of the bereaved. He's a father, he's a husband, he is a citizen, and he understands the loss of life. Also, his lawyers, we equally send condolences to the family of the late Ojwang, and we seek that justice be done. And that is the message from the OCS, that he will want justice be done on the whoever is responsible for the death of Ojwang. Number 2, on the material day that the late Ojwang got his death, our client, Mr. Talam, was not on duty. He had handed over the station to his deputy under the chain of command as provided for by the police service standing orders. He handed all the instruments of his office. He handed over the pocket phone for communication to his deputy. He left for his personal interest, but in Nairobi. That is very, very critical. The second statement the OCS wants to put to the public is that he received a personal call on his personal number, personal line, not on the official OCS pocket phone or police communication gadget. At around 9 something, I'm very poor in terms of timing, the call came from a DCI officer who wanted to inform the OCS that they have somebody they have arrested and they want that person booked at Central Police Station. Unknown to this DCI that the OCS has handed over the station to his deputy, the OCS directed the DCI that there is an officer in charge now. You go there, you'll be attended. That is the only telephone call Mr. Talam received from the DCI officers who had arrested the late from Homa Bay. Mr. Talam continued doing his personal family matters up to around 1 something towards 2 p.m. when he was again, now this time, called by the officer who was holding his deputy, called him and told him of what the incident that happened. From the time the late was brought to Central Police Station to the time the body was found, Mr. Talam was nowhere near the police station. After he was called and told what has happened, he stopped his family engagement. He went back hurriedly, took over the station, as the OCS, provided for ensuring that the scene of the crime, if at all it was a crime that time, it was not known, the scene is preserved. He ordered for Mr. Juang to be rushed to hospital. He took over the station around 2 something. Third, Mr. Talam has instructed us to get all the CCTV footages where he was, because he was in a public place around the Langata area. We shall be producing CCTV footage to show that he was nowhere near the police station called Central Police Station. We shall equally be looking for his travel data on his phone from the time he left Central Police Station to the time he came back to Central Police Station, to clearly exonerate the OCS that he was never near the scene of crime. He was never briefed what was happening, because once you hand over to somebody to carry on his duties, you are not duty bound to micromanage what has happened. So that is on the question of his whereabouts on that fateful day. When he went back, the report that was issued was a report. He also was told of the circumstances that happened. It is not Mr. Talam, because he was not present. He did know. He relied on the information given by the officers who were present. The third issue is what happened after the body was declared dead. Mr. Talam, for record purposes, IPOA has given false information to the members of the public. How that Mr. Talam was arrested yesterday at Eldoret, and he was being transported back to IPOA offices. This is news that IPOA released around 3:40 p.m. This is the chronology of the events leading to Mr. Talam being at Langata Police Station. 1. Mr. Talam watched on all media stations the Director of Criminal Investigation, Mr. Mohammed Amin, said the OCS is a person of interest in this matter. Mr. Talam got in touch with me and another advocate called Mr. Kiton. We advised him to present himself to the DCI. At 2 on Friday yesterday. Unfortunately, I was in court dealing with the matter of one of the police officers who was arrested and was in court called Mugwana. The lawyer, my colleague, Mr. Kiton, came to court. I told him, because we were to take Mr. Talam to the DCI, Mr. Kiton go and take Mr. Talam to report and surrender to the DCI. At 2 some minutes, Mr. Kiton presented Mr. Talam to the office of the Director of Criminal Investigation at Mazingira House, the DCI headquarters. Mr. Min instructed his officers to take possession of Mr. Talam, Mr. Talam to be presented to IPOA in the company of his advocate, Mr. Kito. Mr. Talam was taken to IPOA headquarters. He was handed over to IPOA. IPOA took a statement of Mr. Talam in the presence of his lawyer, Mr. Kito. After they finished with their statement, they brought Mr. Talam to Langata police station in the company of Mr. Kiton, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. They reached here and an issue arose. Who will book Mr. Talam to the cells? And that is what I said yesterday. A standoff arose under the National Police Service orders, under the Police Act, the National Service Police Act, under the Constitution of Kenya. Only a police officer can book an inmate into an OB, and that OB puts that person to the cells. This is a matter being investigated by IPOA. The officers in IPOA are not gazetted police officers. So, as we are here, the OCS, according to us, is booked illegally by an ordinary citizen working for IPOA without the relevant clothes and powers of a police officer. But we advised our client, just comply. That is the first illegality that we have put it out very clearly. That IPOA, one, did a wrong information that they arrested him. Two, they have booked him here illegally without the police having entered the OB. The third issue at hand is that now he's here, he is likely to be arraigned in court on Monday with another miscellaneous application or with a charge sheet. I want to put it very clear that I have instructions. These instructions are based on what does the law say when somebody dies in a police cell. The law called the Criminal Procedure Code, Section 385, 386, 387, and 388 provides what happens if anybody dies in a police custody. The law in those sections provides that an inquest to be the way to go. That is the statute. That is Parliament. Anybody who dies in police custody, in a cell of the police, the first avenue is an inquest, not an arrest. Mr. Talam has been arrested illegally. I do understand the commissioners who are now appointed into IPOA are very green. They have been in office, I think, a month or two. That does not change the law. We have very firm instructions to move to the High Court to stop this persecution, because it is an infringement on the law. It is an infringement and a violation of the constitutional rights of Mr. Talam to be arrested and to be taken through a process unknown by law. We shall be moving to court in the High Court. We shall be filing our papers tomorrow, and on Monday morning we shall be going to court. One, to ask that Mr. Talam be the proceedings of the miscellaneous application, which are illegal, not known in law, be stayed. Two, Mr. Talam be released on his personal recognizance, or he be released on bond, and the High Court orders the proper procedure to be followed, which is an inquest as provided for the law. The sections are provided for to the public is that only after the inquest presided over by a magistrate, where all the police officers who were at Central Police Station that day, all the inmates who are there, and any member of the public who has information comes and gives that information. Then the magistrate will, if he finds somebody culpable, the file is forwarded to the DPP. It is the DPP, if agreeing after the inquest, who will order an arrest and who to be charged. So this is politics. Talam is being arrested based on some political issues. It is not based on any law. This is a country that will follow due process. This is a country that will follow the law. And therefore, we shall be fighting for the legal process, due process, to be followed, so that Talam is not persecuted because of politics or any other extraneous reasons. The last issue that I want the country to know is that Mr. Talam is in good health. He has been allowed to see his families unhindered. He has been allowed to see his advocates unhindered. And therefore, we want to assure that there is no cause of alarm. Mr. Talam knows that this is an illegal process that is being undertaken based on some mischievous political reasons to drag the OCS behind bars and tarnish his name. Thank you. Any questions?
What is the reason for his arrest?
According to them, they are saying that he is linked and he has information to the circumstances that led to the death of the late Ojwang. So that is the reason for his arrest. And that is what you have said. If it is about Ojwang and there is confirmation by the pathologist that he died in a police cell, the law orders an inquest. But if they are arresting him on a different charge, then they are right to arrest him. But the statement he wrote was in connection with the death of the late Ojwang.
Anything about the CCTV? There are claims, let me say this, okay, claims that the CCTV was tampered with and it's based in his office, and that guy who came and tampered with was paid 3,000 shillings and is also a suspect in police custody. Anything on that?
The OCS's office and all OCS offices in this country don't have a key. The OCS office is not a personal office. Once I have put that Mr. Talam was not in control of the office of the OCS, that can be explained with the people who were present. Mr. Talam, by the time he left the office, handed over, everything police was working as it normally works. And therefore, he has no obligation to explain what happened after he left. It will be hearsay. That question should be put to whoever was in command at that time.
Just on that bit, you see, according to IPOA, because it's not us, according to IPOA, they said the CCTV was deleted around 7:28 to 7:30 on 8. That was the night after he was taken at around 2 a.m. when he was called in. They are claiming that the CCTV footage was deleted that morning after Ojwang had been taken to Magadi. So those are the claims of it.
We have said IPOA is living in the era of distortions. From day one, I have given a chronological event exonerating my clients. IPOA has given a chronological event that implicates my clients. His story had not been heard. This is the first time Mr. Talam is putting to the world that he was not in command, he was not in control, and the time somebody passed on, that place becomes a scene of crime. The OCS has no control over a scene of crime. This IPOA says they took over the matter immediately. So the scene of crime was not in the hands of the DCI. The scene of crime was not in the hands of the normal general duty police officers under the command of the OCS. The IPOA took over the command. Is it them who tampered with the CCTV footages? Because that was a scene of crime. They took over at night. They never took over the scene of the crime the next day. They will be telling us, how did anybody infiltrate the scene of crime when they had already been handed over the scene of the crime? So the OCS was not in charge of the scene of crime. Immediately the signal of the death of the accused person, the deceased, was sent to the IG, and the IG forwarded that signal to IPOA. Those are some of the questions that we shall be putting to IPOA to explain how was the CCTV footage tampered when the